2020's been a very strange year, I think, for everyone, any line of work, whatever you do. Day-to-day life just got turned upside down, didn't it? And that was no different for us in our little cycling bubble. Obviously the first half of the year, a lot got cancelled, a lot got postponed. We were in lockdown, things like this, wherever you were, it affected you one way or another. And it was a fine balance with the training to not overdo it and not underdo it. And I think some people did both. I think I was lucky enough, more by luck than anything else, I got it about right. Got a nice balance, and I think you just have to look at the positives at times like that. And the biggest positive was that I got time to spend purely with my wife and son. Even managed to get her pregnant, so I used the time to best of my ability. So I think you got to look at the positives and take the positives out of times like that. And then obviously the second half of the year, it was quite heavy. It was intense. There was a lot of racing in a small space of time, and Grand Tours overlapped, and it was completely different to any other season. But I think in general, like you say, cycling fans got spoilt, and I think not many sports at all, certainly ones that are outside stadiums that are real controllable, didn't go ahead, and we had pretty much all the races actually go ahead. So in the end, I think it was a great season, and we can count ourselves lucky. The standout race from 2020 for me was probably the first race back, which was Strada Bianca. It was filthy hot. It was 40 odd degrees. Very few finishers, of which I wasn't one of them. Me and Swifty had a hell of a day out. He had the shits, so we stopped off a few times, and it was just this crazy day. I could talk about it all day. You couldn't make it up the way our day went, and we got lost, and we had to find our way back to the car. But that was, I think, just because it was the first race back after a long time, it was quite special, and it's a race that I'd never done before. So to experience that dust and the white gravel roads was such a unique race. So to experience that was special as well. And like I said, just because it was the first race back, it was like different in a lot of ways. So that's probably it for me. So now, heading into my 10th year with the team. 2021, it's going to be, hopefully it'll run smoothly. I think that's the first thing we gotta cross our fingers and hope for. And I think for me, it's we're still undecided. Normally, by this stage of you'd have a dialed calendar and you'd know exactly what you're doing. But there's a lot of uncertainties still heading into the year. So for me, early on, it'll be a case of one of two things: either going full classics or backing off the classics a little bit and just trying to go even more down that domestique support role. With more and more leaders coming into the team, I think I can be of value there. And then towards the second half of the year, I guess look towards the Tour de France. It's been the focal point of my season for the last few years, and I think I can be a good addition and support to the team there. So try and build up towards that, and try and take the Tour de France crown back. We've been successful there for quite some years, and not so much in 2020. So I think we have to roll up our sleeves, go back there, and try and take back what's ours. Yes, there's a few disruptions heading into the 2021 season. Obviously, Down Under is something, and that whole Australia block is something that I've done for quite some years now, and that's kind of set me in good stead for the rest of the year. And my wife's due to have another baby, or we're due to have another baby, so that's another distraction, albeit a nice one. So there's certainly some obstacles to conquer. I think most likely we'll go on a camp somewhere in January, potentially Gran Canaria we spoke about, but again, we'll see what other restrictions, how all that goes. But I think just kind of being a little bit more patient, as I won't be racing in January, and I'll likely start racing in February. I think now in the December-January phase you can be a bit more relaxed. That doesn't mean taking your foot completely off the gas and spending the week in the pub, but it just means you just got a few more weeks to play with, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a difference. So just having confidence in yourself and being that little bit more relaxed, so that when you are ready to race, you're all guns blazing and you're mentally fresh and physically ready to go. Yeah, so if I had a full toolbox and it was full of Castelli gear, there's a few go-tos for me. First and foremost, you got to say the Gabba. I think it's just a signature Castelli item now, and that whole range, traditionally it was just the Gabba. Now it's really diversified, and there's pretty much an option that caters for any weather, even if it's not damp and miserable. Still a great item. So I think that's got to be top of the list. And then for the real crappy weather, Alpha ROS jacket is just a beast, and it doesn't. You can wear it when it's not that hot and you don't feel like you're a stuffed pig, with the vest underneath. It's another great item. And then the final one for me would be the skin suit, the San Remo skin suit. It's just, I never now race in shorts and jersey. It's just something that doesn't exist for me anymore. I shoot shorts and jersey to train in, and then race in a skin suit as game time. So that's something that I couldn't really do without now. And I think it just gives you that edge over the rivals, which is always what you're looking to do. So if you have the best skin suit in the market, and you're on the start line, you look left, you look right, and you think, I've got better kit than them, straight away, mentally, you're on the front foot. So for me, that's one I can't do without as well. Yeah, so hopefully all pubs get open, and I'd probably head down to the Grenadier, and I would go for just a nice simple lager, to be honest, mate. I know a light EPA, not IPA, nothing too dark, just a light IPA would probably go down quite well as well.